Now and admitting all members. Everyone is now admitted from the waiting room.
Thank you, Santiago. Good morning. This meeting of the Agricultural Labor Relations Board is called to order. I will first turn to the roll. Board Member Broad?
Here.
Board Member Flores?
Present.
Wonderful. Board Member Hall? Board Member Lightstone?
Here.
Thank you. Also present from our staff for today's meeting is our Executive Secretary, Mr. Santiago Avila Gomez, who is providing technical support. As you all know, we are still living in rapidly changing times, and the board is committing to taking the health and safety of both the public as well as our staff seriously. Thus, in accordance with Executive Order N-122, today's meeting is being held via video conference with an option for members of the public to dial in or log in via Zoom. At the close of the business portion of this meeting, members who have contacted the board either by email or phone and asked to be placed in the public comment queue will be called on in the order received. If you did not previously contact the board and wish to make a public comment at the end of the meeting, you may do so in one of several ways. You can make a request in the Zoom chat function or raise hand, or email Santiago Avila Gomez to be placed in the queue for public comment. Please note, we ask that you use the chat feature only indicate that you wish to make a comment. Substantive comments in the chat will not be made part of the public record. We ask that you also provide your name and organization if applicable. This information will become part of the official record of today's proceedings. If you wish to speak more than once, please alert staff and have your name placed back in the queue if you are able. If you're having technical difficulties when you are called up, please reach out to us via Zoom, chat function, or email, and we will do our best to get back to you. We do have limited capabilities for managing participation during the meeting and during the public comment periods. So we are asking everyone who is not speaking to place their phones or Zoom on mute and wait to unmute until you are called upon to speak. You can also see these instructions on our agenda, which is posted online at alrb.ca.gov, which is located on the ALRB homepage under News and Information. Our first agenda item is normally to approve the public and regional director meeting minutes. Because of the late transmittal, I'm going to table that for our next meeting to give all of our members ample time to review both meeting minutes. The next item is the chair's report. I want to share that yesterday I had the pleasure of participating in the CWOP, the California Worker Outreach Program Week of Action event that was held in Fresno. It was convened by the UC Merced Community Labor Law Center at the local Carpenters Hall in Fresno, and was a roundtable with members of the labor and workforce development agencies and boards, including the Labor Commissioner's Office and Cal OSHA, and included community groups who've been participating in CWOP. And it was a wonderful event. It was great to be there in person. And we discussed how the state can continue to partner with community organizations going into the future in order to address not just issues with COVID, which are still ongoing. There was much discussion about the extension of supplemental paid sick leave throughout the rest of this year, and how we can make sure that farm workers and other workers are aware of their rights under SPSL, and also that they have the freedom and feel that they can actually take that time and get those wages for which they are owed. But also how we can address other issues affecting workers and partner with these groups. We did have a lot of discussion about a variety of items. Several of the groups highlighted that they did wish to partner with us as the ALRB in the communities where they work. And I mentioned what was discussed at our last meeting, which is that our offices are partnering with local organizations to provide additional opportunity and access to our services on nights and weekends and in other locations away from our offices. And that was welcomed broadly by that group. I also touted our hotline, and many of the groups were very excited and wanted to get more information on that. So wonderful opportunity, and thank you so much to UC Merced, the Carpenters, and all the groups for their participation in yesterday's event. And with that, I will move on to our next agenda item, which is the Executive Officer's Report on Elections, Unfair Labor Practice Complaints, and Hearings with our Executive Secretary, Santiago Avila Gomez. Santiago, do you have any information to report?
I do. Good morning. Since our last meeting, which was just a little over 2 weeks ago, there have been a few matters that have occurred since. With respect to election activity, there has not been any notice of intent to organize or petitions for certification or decertification filed. However, 2 complaints were issued by the General Counsel, both involving the cannabis industry employers. One, Sonoma Cho, LLC, doing business as Flora Terra, case number 2022 dash. I'm sorry, I lost the. I'm not sure that this number is right. Sorry. So I will report that Sonoma Cho LLC DBA Flora Terra is one of the complaints. The next is 7 Points Management, and that case number is 2020CE021SAL, and that is in Los Angeles County, while Sonoma Cho is in Sonoma County. There was also amended make-whole specification that was filed and was accepted after our last public meeting, so it was not reported, but I'm reporting now as Garwin Farming Inc., case number 2012 CE 41, and this is a compliance matter flowing from 44 ALRB number 1. There's a hearing to report that commenced yesterday in Sonoma Cho, doing business as Flora Terra. That number is 2022 RC001 SAL. It may conclude today. It commenced yesterday at 10:30 a.m. And moving on to board decisions, administrative orders, and pending matters. One board decision issued in Sonoma Cho LLC, doing business Flora Terra, dismissing an election objection and setting challenge ballots for hearing, which are the hearing that I just reported. Finally, pending matters before the board are Citagro Farms Inc., case number 2017CE008 SAL, and that is a Ventura County matter. And that concludes my report. I will mention that this report, along with the others from this meeting, are available on our website. And I'm available to answer any questions.
Thank you, Santiago. I appreciate that. I do not have any questions. Do any of my colleagues have any questions? Member Lightstone?
Yeah, I just want to clarify. I think I heard you say this. The hearing that's going on right now is the matter that we referred for a challenge ballot.
That's correct. That hearing commenced yesterday and may conclude today, but it's ongoing.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Any other questions for my colleagues? Okay, thank you so much, Santiago. Appreciate that. Next is agenda item number 5, the litigation report with our Chief Board Counsel, Todd Ratchin. Todd?
Hi, good morning. There's one update to report since the last meeting, and that is on the 1st of the month, the 5th District issued an unpublished opinion in the Wonderful Orchards matter, affirming the board's decision in 46 number 2. So the deadline for any petition for review in the California Supreme Court is April 11th. And that's the single litigation matter to report on.
Thank you very much. I'd like to extend a congratulations to Counsel Scott and Ciardi for the great work on that case. Wonderful. What truly wonderful. Any comments or questions from my colleagues?
I'd just like to join in congratulating Scott on his excellent work in that case.
Wonderful. And I noticed that Member Hall has joined us. Thank you so much, Member Hall. Good to see you. Oop, you are on mute.
It appears he's still connecting to audio at this time.
Okay, gotcha. Okay. Wonderful to see you. All right, well, on to the next item, which is item number 6, the General Counsel's report with our General Counsel, Julie Montgomery. Julie?
Good morning, everyone. Glad to see you all. My report will be short today just because we had a meeting 2 weeks ago, and so I don't have a whole lot of updates to report in that time, but I would like to just again mention what vacant positions we have in the General Counsel program that we're still seeking to fill, and ask everyone's help in spreading the word. We have a regional director vacancy in Visalia. We have an outreach position available in Salinas and Visalia. We have an attorney position in Visalia and a field examiner position in Salinas, and a legal secretary position in Oxnard. And I'm pleased to report that we did fill our Santa Rosa attorney vacancy, and we will have a new attorney starting in a couple of weeks. So I will announce that at a later time once he starts, but we're happy that we were able to fill that position. So the other information I'd like to talk about today is just to give a summary of what our staff in the General Counsel program offices is doing for the Week of Action, which is a coordinated effort with the Department of Industrial Relations, which includes both Cal OSHA and the Labor Commissioner, as well as the Labor Workforce Development Agency. And I believe the Employment Development Department and some of our other sister departments are also participating in this. And it's just really a coordinated outreach week of events. So we've been very busy, and I want to give a special thanks to Daniela Ramirez, our outreach manager and coordinator, who has really done the lion's share of the work in setting this up, but also to our regional office staff, who's just been getting out in the community and spreading the word and letting farm workers know about their rights. And so I'll just give a little summary, which includes, we attended a COVID vaccination clinic in West Modesto over the weekend. We had a staff member attend and do outreach at that event. We had someone at a COVID testing site in Swatney doing outreach in Hanford also over the weekend. We had somebody tomorrow, we have somebody attending a COVID testing site outreach event at a church in Riverbank, which is in Stanislaus County outside of Modesto. We have an attorney from Oxnard conducting a training session, which I believe is going to be online for farm workers, and it's going to be both in Spanish and Mixteco. We are also participating in an outreach event, and I believe there'll be a media conference as well in Calexico, which is in Imperial County. So we have our field examiner from Indio presenting at that event. We are also going to be at a resource fair in that area the following day. We have staff attending. Our Oxnard office is hosting a media conference or press conference on Thursday. And so they'll all be participating in that, and there'll also be outreach and media conference. We also have staff attending a Watsonville vaccine clinic later in the week, food distribution outreach event in Santa Paula, which is outside of Ventura County, I believe, or it might be in Ventura County, and a food distribution and PPE distribution event in Santa Maria. Wow, the list goes on. We have somebody attending a Watsonville farmers market on Friday. Saturday, we have a staff member doing a training at a park in Farmersville with the Labor Commissioner and OSHA, and that's going to be in Spanish and Mixteco. Sunday, we also have a presentation. I believe it's in the Kern County area, but I'm not certain about that. It's just a Central Valley. And that's going to involve the Labor Commissioner's office as well, and the ALRB are going to partner on that. And one of our Visalia attorneys is going to be covering that event. So that's quite a lot for 1 week. So we've been very busy at work, and just, yeah, again, want to thank Daniela Ramirez for all her hard work, and all of the staff in the offices who just really come together as a team to coordinate and cover these important events.
Thank you, Julie. I want to echo those comments. Daniela, I know, is doing so much work, and for one person seems to really have this statewide presence, which is wonderful. And also recognize the hard work of our staff. I know this is all on top of their caseload and other work. And I think it's incredible how dedicated they are. And it's really appreciated, not just by the board, but more importantly, by the community. I really heard that a lot yesterday, and I just want to sincerely thank our staff for taking the time to do that. It's really critical, I think.
Great. And yeah, and that pretty much concludes my report. As I mentioned, our executive secretary covered the complaints that were filed, so I won't repeat that. But we did file a couple of complaints involving cannabis employers since the last board meeting. And other than that, I will wait till the next meeting to update you further. And thank you.
Thank you. Any other comments or questions from my colleagues? Okay. And I was remiss if Devika, if you can note that Member Hall's presence for purpose of the meeting minutes, that would be great. Okay, thank you. On to the next item, which is item number 7, the Division of Administrative Services report with our Chief of Admin, Brian Darity. Brian.
Hi, I do not have any additional updates since our meeting on the 22nd at this point, but I'm happy to answer any questions anybody may have.
I don't have any questions. Do any of my colleagues have any questions? Okay, wonderful. Next is agenda item number 8, which is the legislative report with Todd Ratchin. Todd?
Hi, so I have a short legislative report that is available on the website. There have been introduced to amend the ALRA. One bill, Senate Bill number 1409, would propose repealing the act and abolishing the board. A link to the bill is available on the legislative report I provided. The next bill is Senate Bill number 1248, which is currently drafted, proposes non-substantive technical changes to section 1152. And finally, Assembly Bill number 2183, which is currently drafted, also proposes non-substantive changes to section 1156.
Okay. Anyone have any comments or questions? All right, thank you. On to the next item, which is item number 9. It's the regulations report. Do we have an update from our subcommittee?
Really nothing to report.
Okay, okay. If we could get an update just on timing. I know we approved the package last meeting. At the next meeting, it'd be great just to get a little bit of a sense of the calendar. And then also, we did discuss getting updates on data from the general counsel. And if you can work with our general counsel to work on that, that'd be great to get that at the next meeting. Moving on to agenda item number 10, the personnel report. We have no personnel items to report. So I will now move on to agenda item number 11, which is public comment. Please be advised that the board is unable to adjudicate, comment, or resolve any pending case matters before the board. I will ask our executive secretary, Santiago Avila Gomez, to go first through the queue and then to open it up. If you have technical difficulties or miss your turn, we will work to come back to you. Please remember to be on mute unless you are speaking. If you require translation, please advise us. Okay, do we have any members of the public wishing to comment?
There are no members of the public that have expressed a wish to comment. However, there are a few in our participant list, and I would invite them to provide public comment at this time. Doesn't appear that there is any public comment at this time.
Okay, we'll move on to our next agenda item, which is item number 12, closed session. The board will now gavel into closed session to discuss items denoted under item number 12. At the close of a closed session, we will reconvene for announcements and to adjourn the meeting. I'm going to check with our chief board counsel because it's a little bit different. Any other items anything else I should share prior to gaveling into the closed session?
No.
Okay, thank you so much, Todd. All right, we will now gavel into closed session. Thank you very much.
So you'll need to maintain your mics on mute. For everyone that's still in the waiting room, I will be placing you, in the Zoom, I'll be placing you into the waiting room until the board returns from closed session.
But it also means that we took the time to listen to what was unique for them to find us. So as DA, I want to understand what are the safety concerns that the Latino community has, and what are some of the solutions so that we can be whole partners. I don't think the DA should be a know-all, end-all. We have to have community partners. So the same way I implemented that in the effective way of energy.
Everyone from the waiting room has been admitted.
So that we can have a group of members.
There's no sound coming from the room. If you're,
So well that other agencies. So I would also bring that to the DA's office to make sure we incorporate those solutions.
all right, let me try something here. It may on the first go require me to unmute.
All right, can you hear us now?
Yes.
Okay, I'll repeat what I just said. We are now gaveling back in from closed session. It is 12:14 p.m. on March 9th. In closed session, we discussed matters under item 12 of the agenda. Moving on to item number 13, announcements. Our next meeting will be in 2 weeks on Wednesday, March 23rd. And with that, there are no further announcements, and that concludes the meeting, and we are now adjourned. Thank you.